All right, you guys, new workout. This one is going to go all the way through all of the moves, and we did 3 rounds of it. You don't need a bench, but you could use a bench if you want it. You do need resistance bands. I used a heavier one for my chest press, a lighter one for my scapular slides, and another light one for my pullovers. You also will want one weight. I used an 8. That might be intense. You could do a 5. I mean, you could do whatever you want. Like, just experiment, see what works for you. Okay, you guys, so our first move is going to be plyo lunges. We're going to do 10 on each side, so I like to count just one leg, so I'm going to drop into a lunge, and I'm going to switch. That was 1. Here's 2. So you're going to go to 10. Then we did 15 push-ups. In that push-up, you guys, starting with the hands right at the chest is going to get you in the right position. You want your hands under your shoulders, your hips in line. You can do knees. As I've said before, when you do knees, you're one solid piece from your shoulders to your knees. The hips don't come up. So 15 push-ups. Hold that belly button in, keep those hips in line. Then we're going to do 15 V-ups, and I've told you before, my V-ups are heinous. My friend told me to Google it to see if I'm doing it right, and I might not be doing it right, you guys. I mean, it's a workout either way, but when I think of a V-up, I think of my legs and my upper body coming up at the same time. I think that's the whole theory. So the first one's usually ugly. 1, 2, 3. It's almost like a full sit-up and the legs. I don't know, they're intense. Anyways, 15 V-ups. Then we're going to do 12 scapular slides. Now this is with resistance bands, you guys, and what I want you to focus on is you're going to pull your hands back. Elbows are going to be under wrists like a goalpost, but I really want, like, they're going to be here, and the movement is up and down. It's not a pull. It's an up and down, and we're working the back. So when you do that with resistance bands, we get to where it's at. This is what it's going to look like. You want a high anchor. I'm going to pull them back, and I'm pulling down, but I'm resisting against that the whole time. My abs are pulled in, resisting against that pull the whole time. After our scapular slides, you're going to do 20 star jacks, 15 to 20, you choose, but you start low in that squat, jumping jack out, 15 to 20 times. Then we're going to come to a new move. Dakota and I were talking about handstands the other day, and so I did some research on building up strength to do a good handstand, and one of them is these leg lifts. So if you have good flexibility in your hamstrings and in your glutes, you'll be able to come forward more. I do not, so I cannot come forward more. But what you're doing is you're isolating one leg and you're just lifting it. But I don't want your back rounded. I want your back nice and tall, and if you can lean forward, that's even better, but I cannot. So I'm going to go 10 on one leg, 10 on the other leg, and then I did 10, and for 2 legs, I did have to lean back, but my back is still flat, and I did 10, 2 legs. Okay, after you do that, then we're doing seated knee tucks. Now, put the hands behind you, the fingers pointing towards the glutes. Elevate the legs, and you're going to stride those knees in and out. The upper body doesn't have to move. You can do it like a V-up, but I was focusing more on the leg in this one, and so I was doing just leg. So seated knee tucks. Then you're going to do Spider-Man push-ups. Spider-Man push-ups is when you bring your leg outside, and we're going to alternate to the elbow. We do just 10 here, so we've already done 15. So you're going to drop and bring that knee to the elbow, and then you switch sides, so you end up doing 5 on each side, pulling that belly button in, keeping the hips in line. After the Spider-Man push-ups, then we do the chest press with our resistance bands. Now this is done with a mid anchor, and with my chest press I can go a little heavier than I did on my scapular slide. Elbows are going to be up high and wide, pressing out. So this is also going to feel a bit like a push-up. Right there, engaging the chest. 15. Then we are going to do a sumo squat series. So we're starting not sumo squats, but we're gonna end in sumo squat. Sorry, airplane just flew by. So I want you to start kind of like to one side. Feet are about hip width apart. You're gonna drop into a squat, and when you stand, you're gonna step out to a wide squat. I'm gonna stay with this one leg, and I'm counting to 10, but I'm counting just my wide squat. Squat, squat. When I get to 10, I stay here, and then I'm gonna bring the other leg in, and I'm gonna do the same thing on the other leg. That was 1. Here's 2. And when I get to 10, I'm gonna stay. Then I'm gonna open my legs. You might need to walk your feet out a little bit. With those sumo squat, we wanna come straight down. So we're dropping that tailbone straight down. Now in squats, a lot of times we think hips back and we wanna bend over, but in the sumo squat, we're coming straight down. Knees are nice and wide, tracking over the toes. But you also want your shins to be perpendicular to the floor, like straight up and down. So if your feet are too wide, then they are at an angle, and that just is not gonna be great for your alignment. So we're gonna be coming down. You're gonna do 15 to 20 right here of the sumo squats. When you get to 15 or 20, you're gonna hold. Then you're gonna do heel lifts, 15. When you get to 15, you're gonna hold. Then you're gonna do 15 pulses right here, just up and down. If you fall down, you just get right back up all the way to the end, and you're gonna wanna get up and just shake those legs out after that. So after that series, we're gonna go into 30 pogo hops, you guys. The knees don't bend with the pogo hops. It's just coming out of those toes. Just working those calves a little bit more after our little calf raises. The next move, you guys, will be inchworm to mountain climbers. So we've done inchworm before. Maybe I should just move my table back. There we go. We've done inchworm before. When we come out, we're gonna do 4 mountain climbers. So again, we keep the legs mostly straight. That's what's gonna work the back of the leg. We come down, make sure those hips drop in line. 4 mountain climbers, and walk the hands back up, keeping those legs mostly straight, pulling the hips into stand. You're gonna go 10. It's gonna take a little time, but be patient with it. It's good. After our inchworm mountain climbers, then we're gonna do squat to twist. So you're gonna drop as low as you feel comfortable. I don't want you hurting your knees, so as low as you feel comfortable, you're gonna drop, come up and twist those legs, alternating sides. So you're gonna go 10, but it'll be 20 squats. So you're gonna go 10 sets. The next one, you guys, here's where you could use your bench or not. When I did it, I actually brought my bench out and then I didn't even use it. But what you're gonna do, hands behind, fingers towards the glutes. Start with those legs raised and pretend there's a bench there. You're gonna drop your legs to one side, bring them up, drop them to the other side. You're gonna go 10. 10 on both sides. So I just count one side. After your up and overs, we're gonna do pullovers. So I have my other resistance band anchored low over here. I'm gonna lay down, I'm gonna start with it above my chest. And there's a couple of variations you can do here. I don't know how far I pulled my mat away. Let's see. It'll work. I'm gonna scooch down. I'm gonna start with that above my chest. Now you can do pull downs just right here, or you can tabletop the knees, or you can extend the legs, or you can lift the head. 12 to 15 right here, pulling that belly button in, pushing the low back to the ground. All right, here's the last part of class, and this is gonna take a little bit of time too, and it's gonna burn so good. So I do this in my class I teach at the gym a lot. You're gonna place one weight behind the knee. Again, I did 8 and it's a lot. So you do you. You can even do it without weights. I want you to make sure your hands are under your shoulders, knees under your hips. So you're a nice little square there. That back needs to stay flat and neutral. We don't want, you're gonna see, a little Jane Fonda action. We're not doing that. That's not what's happening here. We're gonna start with the donkey kick. Now this other leg that doesn't have the weight, lay that foot, the top of the foot on the ground. Otherwise, halfway through, you're gonna realize that your quad is burning, and you may feel it anyways, but you feel even more if that toe was tucked. So I'm going to push down through those hands. I'm going to keep my eyes in front of my hands so that my neck is nice and neutral. And I'm going to go 15 donkey kicks right here, bringing that thigh up to hip level. When I get to 15, I pause and I'm going to pulse for 15. It's going to burn. It's going to burn so good. Then you bring it down and we go lateral for 15. And when I get to 15, I pause and I pulse for 15. Then you bring it down, remove the weight, and it's a straight leg. So let me walk up a little bit here so you can see that a little better. Here's where people like to Jane Fonda. They like to sway the back. Hold that body, that torso, that core so tight. And it's just a little pulse here, right from the glute, right from the hip. 15. When you get there, then we're going to rainbow the leg. It's going to go back behind the other leg and then to center. So you're making a nice arch rainbow here with the foot. And you're going to go just 10 here, and then you'll want a little child's pose before you start the other side. So that's the whole circuit. Go all the way through and then just decide what works for you. If you want to do it 2 more times, you want to do it 1 more time, you want to do it no more times, that's good too. Hopefully you guys will feel it. We felt it today. It felt good. All right, you guys, have a good day.